All right, welcome everybody. We're going to do something a little bit different today. We're going to talk about three very important considerations when you're entering a trade. Now, this video is really specifically for the members. Of course, the general public can watch it too, but some of the indicators and things are going to be specific to the membership and the kind of the technical tools they have access to. So, if after watching this video you want to become a member, stick around to the end of the video. I'll show you how to do that, okay? First, let's just look at what we got in front of you today. Made $1,350. So nice day, $1,350. I'm a happy camper. My goals lately have been about $1,000 a day when I can trade. Sometimes I'm busy with the day job and can't do it, but today I was able to squeeze in some trading. This video kind of came out of, I think, of a need. Some members not sure about how to use the membership. Of course, I've covered all this in videos before, but a lot of people don't want to go back and watch the old videos. They can't find them, blah, blah, blah. So here we go again, but I'm going to lay it out as best as I can for the members. So let's get started and talk about that. The reason I'm showing this $1,350 trade and profitable trade I made today, which consisted of really 5 different trades. I do 2 trades, 2 contracts at a time. These are the E-mini futures. And the reason why I show this is because 1, it encourages the members, okay, and 2, it should help members understand how I went about doing it, okay. And we may even talk about this specific trade within the context of this video, but let's switch over and we'll talk about the 3 very important considerations whenever you're entering a trade. Okay, so here we are on just a Word doc I threw together real quick. It's just a 1-pager here. Here we are, the titles, 3 most important considerations when entering a trade. And here they are. I know some of these are going to seem basic, but I'm telling you, a lot of people struggle with this. Number 1 is timing. Okay, so if you're going to enter a trade, you have to have good timing. All right, and we'll talk about what good timing is, and we'll talk about maybe just a scenario of what bad timing is. Okay, so you can understand the difference. Number 2 is direction. Right, now this is a big one in the membership. A lot of people want to know both of these at the same time. I've heard this before. I had a member today ask me about this, and they want timing and direction. Okay. And my answer to that is, to get both of these right at the, on entering a trade, of course, is the ultimate challenge, right? That's what everybody's trying to do. Everybody's trying to get these 2 aspects right. Okay, as we're going to see with the membership, the timing part is really very good with the membership, and direction is definitely a little bit more challenging, but we'll talk about that as well, okay? And then the last thing that's really important is account size. Account size has a big influence on what you can and can't do. Okay, I think some of the members see me trade, and my account size lets me do some things that maybe smaller retail accounts can't do. Now, I'm not suggesting I'm some kind of multi-billionaire or anything, but really small retail accounts, you're going to be limited on what you can do, and you've got to plan accordingly. All right, so let's talk about the first one, timing, and then we'll come back to the other 2, okay? We're going to switch over to the charts. So remember, right now we're going to talk about timing. All right, so here we are on an intraday chart. This is a 5-minute chart. This is today. The market hasn't closed yet. It's probably coming up on close to 3 p.m. my time, so the market's going to close here in about 10-15 minutes. Doesn't really matter. This is all intraday. If you look at the bottom here, you can see 7 o'clock this morning, 8, 9, 10, right? We're running left to right here. And right now we're at the 2:30 mark. Actually, we're closer to 3. I'm not showing it over here to the right, okay? And I picked this part of the chart here because I want to show timing. Remember, this video is really more specific to members who are using the membership. Okay, this may not apply to other people because they don't have some of these indicators. They definitely don't have the GetisPlus indicator. All right, and they might not have some of the logic that I'm using in here. All right, so let's talk about the GetisPlus indicator. I think there's some confusion about this indicator, okay? Now, the GetisPlus indicator, what exactly is it? So for those that want to know, pay attention. I'm about to tell you. This indicator, whenever it indicates something, especially a yellow triangle like this little yellow triangle, it is telling us that it believes that right around now, at the time that this comes up, or soon, is the time to make the trade. That's all it is. GetisPlus Indicator equals timing. Okay, we just write it out. Timing. That's it. Just timing, not direction. It doesn't tell you whether when this indicator comes, you go down, go up, or even sideways for that matter. Okay, it doesn't say any of that. It doesn't do any of this directional stuff. It just gives you timing. Okay, and you'll notice, and I put this logic in here last week, I think it was, or earlier this week, because one of the members wanted it. I thought it was a good idea. You'll notice this candlestick is purple. So whenever this indicator comes up with the little yellow triangle, okay, the purple candlestick shows up. Okay, so just timing. GetisPlus Indicator says, hey, you get a yellow triangle, you get a purple candlestick. It's saying, I think there's going to be a trade here soon. Be aware that I believe the GetisPlus Indicator is saying, I believe there's an opportunity for taking a trade. The timing is either right now or very soon. That's what that's saying. That's all it does. Timing. All right. And of course, as it turned out, looking at this trade right here, the timing was absolutely bang on, right? Forget about direction, even if it had gone this way. Just forget about direction for a second. Can everybody agree that this candlestick has great timing? Right? It's working in conjunction with this triangle right here, right? Everybody can look at this chart and say, man, that's some good timing. Right? We all can agree that GetisPlus Indicator in this particular instance had excellent timing. Now, I'm not saying it always gets everything perfectly right, but it gets it right often. Okay? Really good timing. Now, let's look over here. Here's another one that happened. Purple candlestick, yellow triangle, a little bit more challenging. Was the timing good? Eventually it was. It took a little while to make good. I talked about this on the Discord server today. I talked about this exact alert, and I asked a question because nobody answered it. Nobody answered the question. And, I know it may come across as a little bit of a kind of, a little rough sometimes on the Discord server, but it's not to be mean to members, okay? It's to challenge you. And one of the members kind of asked me some questions today, which were some excellent questions. I don't have a problem with anybody asking me questions, okay? But what I'm not going to do with the membership is I'm not going to stream my trading live. First of all, I can't. I work a day job. But even if I could, I wouldn't. I probably never will stream my trading live. You want to know why? First of all, everybody in their grandma's doing that. Why am I going to do what everybody else is doing? And they're horrible traders. I stream my trading, so who cares? Doesn't prove anything. Watch me trade. No thanks. Because I don't want members to be copying me. That's not a strategy for success. What happens if I'm sick for a week? That's not going to happen. Let's rebuke that. What happens if I just stop trading? I become a millionaire. I don't need to trade anymore. Now what are you going to do? I just follow Getis. That's all I do. I make money following Getis. What happens if I go away? You didn't learn anything. You just followed me. You have to learn how to be a good trader, a great trader. Okay? You can't just follow me. That's why I don't stream. I detest that kind of approach. Just follow me, do what I do in streaming. It's too quick. Timing is in the marketplace. Timing is critical, right? We're talking about timing here, right? We're talking about timing. Timing is critical. Sometimes you got to be Johnny on the spot, like right now. Seconds sometimes count. And you're not going to learn that by just following me in some stream. I'm telling you right now, I've seen dozens of people follow other traders, successful traders, and they don't get anywhere near the success that the guy that's streaming. You ever notice that? It's very rare that people who follow a major streamer who's very profitable, that the ones who are following him are also successful. So why is that? If it was true, then everybody would be doing what the streamer's doing. Everybody would be millionaires, right? They'd all be making the same money. But they don't. And they sit there and they Google and drool over themselves. Oh, I wish I could be like this guy. You got to get off your backside and you got to learn to trade for yourself. That's the real truth. So this service is geared towards helping you to get there, but it's not going to be follow me on a stream, because that is not going to work. And I've said this before, I'm going to say it again, and I know it's a cliche, but it's very true and it's very applicable to trading. If I give you a fish every day, you're going to have some food to eat. But if I teach you to fish, you can feed yourself for life. It's the same way in trading. I'm not just going to hand you trades, watch me stream. No, you're going to have to learn to become a trader so that you can trade on your own, even when I'm not around, even when after I'm retired and I'm not doing this anymore. Because there's going to come a day that I'm not going to, this business may or may not be up anymore. I may just say, forget this. I'm going on, I don't know. I might be doing other things. I like to do inventions. I might be busy doing inventions. I might not be trading anymore. So you got to learn how to do it. All right. So this is timing. GetisPlus Indicator strictly equals timing, not direction. And look at this one over here. Let me clear the screen here because I got to move the chart to the right. Here's one. Here it is right here. Here's a purple candlestick. Can everybody agree this is good timing? I mean, I don't know what some of you watching the video are going to say. I know what I'm going to, I just look at this and say, man, that timing is excellent. The timing is excellent. This timing was excellent. This timing was good. It wasn't great, but it was good. It made good eventually. It was actually down here. Had to wait through some little garbage here. But and I'll get into direction in a minute here. I didn't take this trade for very good reason. Okay, there's a reason why I didn't take this trade right here, right when this purple candlestick came up and this came up. Okay, but these two opportunities were absolutely banging. The timing was excellent. Okay, let's hopefully, let me also just say for those that, okay, well, that's going to be a directional thing. Let me switch back over to the document just for 1 second. All right, so we talked about timing, right? The GetisPlus Indicator, this is synonymous, right? It's a synonym. This is the same as GetisPlus. If you're watching this video, pause the video right here. Take a screenshot. Stick it on your desktop, your laptop. If you're on a mobile phone, I'm not saying that's bad, but if you only trade on a mobile phone, man, you're like, that is like way less than optimal. If you're trying to do trades on a mobile phone, man, and you're trying to look at the 3 streaming charts I provide on your little mobile phone, man, that's going to be rough. I'm not saying it can't be done, but it's not ideal. So for those of you that are using mobile phones only and trying to make these trades, there's no way I would do that. So I encourage you to, if possible, invest in yourself, get yourself a big monitor. You might have to work a job for a while. If you're not working, well, okay, you may have to do what's necessary to move to the next level. Right? And then on eBay, computers are cheap. I'm not talking new computers. I just bought myself an i7, an old Intel i7 processor PC for like $300. Thing is super powerful with all kinds of RAM, like a terabyte or more of hard drive, solid state drive. I mean, computers are just crazy cheap right now on eBay. Okay, so there's no reason not to get a cheap computer. Now, monitors can be a little more expensive, but you need to figure out a way to make it happen. That's all I'm saying. Okay. All right. So timing and GetisPlus are synonymous with one another. That's what the GetisPlus Indicator is. Strictly timing. Okay. Let's talk about direction. Let me switch back to the charts. Okay. So here we are back on the chart. We're on the 5-minute chart. Let me get the right color here. Get yellow. Back on the 5-minute chart. This may not. Oh, I don't always. Okay. How do I explain this? The service provides 3 charts that stream live 5 days a week. They stream the S&P 500 futures live 5 days a week. Today's Friday, so I obviously close the charts down for the weekend. But I've talked about this before. For members, you must get in your head that you have to be aware of at minimum, all 3 intraday charts: 5-minute, 15-minute, 1 hour. You can't just trade on one chart. That's never going to work. Well, I shouldn't say never. But you're gonna be frustrated. You're gonna lose money, make money, lose money. You're gonna be treading water, and you probably end up losing more than you make. All right. So you really have to be aware of all 3 charts at all the time, And the more you examine the 3 charts, the better the trader you're going to become. I'm not going to guarantee anything because this is my opinion only, but the chances are high you're going to become a better trader. All right, so let's talk about direction. So let's go back to this example. We talked about timing, right? Earlier we talked about timing. GetisPlus indicator equals T for timing. Okay, and now we're going to talk about direction. So there's a couple ways, there's a couple things you can look at here. Okay, first we'll talk about the SMI. This stands for Stochastic Momentum Index. And for now, we're just going to say this equals direction. Okay, GetisPlus indicator equals timing, SMI equals direction. All right. So when this indicator, GetisPlus indicator, said, hey, I think there's a trade here, what I do is I look at the SMI as one of the things I do. It's not the only thing I do, but I look at the SMI. We're talking about direction here. What's going on at this exact moment? Right here. The SMI is doing what? What's this SMI doing, guys and gals? Come on, man. This is like basic stuff. Is the SMI going right here, right exactly at this moment with this candlestick, this indicator? You can just draw a line down right here. You know, I believe the Stochastic Momentum Index is available on most charting software. If you don't have it on there, put it on there. Okay, what's it doing right here at this moment? X marks the spot. What's it doing? Is it going down or is it going up? Forget about price, because remember, we're just stuck right here, right? We don't know about any of this yet. We don't know the market's done this yet, right? We're trying to forecast and predict ahead of time so we can make the trade either long or short. We don't know which one it is, correct? We just know the GetisPlus indicator told us, hey, I think there's a trade here, purple candlestick. Oh my gosh, get excited. Right? Now what? How do I determine direction? One thing is I do look at the SMI. And I know this seems kind of basic, but I think some people probably struggle with this. What is it doing? What's it doing exactly at this point? Ignore all this over here to the right. We don't know about anything about over here yet. What's it done? Did it come from below or did it come from above? Let me get the eraser here. Right? At this exact moment right here, this little dot, let's put a dot here. Is this dot, is the SMI prior to this going this way? Is it below it or is it above it? Which one is it? Super basic stuff here, guys. Is this dot above that? Or I should say, is the SMI back here below this dot or is it above it? Well, it's clearly below it, right? The SMI is down here. It's not up here. Right? Everybody follow me? If not, you need to pause and go back. Pause the video, go back, listen to it again. The SMI is moving upward. Right? You just got to look back. So right here at this point, we just look back that way in that direction. What's the SMI doing? Was it up here coming down like that? No, it was down here coming up, correct? Okay, so we're going to make an assumption that the SMI is going to continue in that direction. And sure enough, it did. Does it always do that? No, it doesn't. That's part. Welcome to trading. Welcome to one-on-one trading, where things don't always go exactly the way you want it. Sometimes it doesn't play nice. You have to understand risk management, which that's a different video. We're not doing that today. Okay, but this should be basic stuff. At this moment, the SMI was going up. That's your direction. GetisPlus is timing. SMI is direction. Okay, let's talk about other things on this entire chart that's available as a service that help us with direction. Okay, I don't usually put this on this chart because I don't like it, but for some members, maybe this will help them out. This is called, no, I don't really call it this. This is another service that calls it R-Scout. This is really just the Hall Moving Average. Okay, made a mistake there. Hall Moving, that's what that red stuff is up there. Hall Moving Average. Okay, and you can configure it. I just configure mine to 15. So you just look in your charting software. You're looking for Hall Moving Average. If you don't have it in your software, change brokers. That means the broker sucks. This is TD Ameritrade, which unfortunately is being taken over by Schwab. Gosh, I hate Schwab. But they're taking over. But anyway, hopefully I think they're going to keep the TOS platform. If not, I'll leave them. So the whole moving average, where is that on here? Where on here is a whole moving average? It's this line. This thing. Okay, everybody got it? All right. And I'll keep it on the chart. I'll keep it on the 5-minute chart. That's the only chart I'm going to keep it on for now on, at least for now. Let me just bump this up to make it nice, big, and fat, and bold. Okay, you can see it better now, right? Okay, so again, we're talking about direction here, right? SMI equals direction, GetisPlus equals timing. Here we are on the timing part, and we're trying to figure out direction. I already talked about SMI is going to help us with direction, but so is the whole moving average. Okay, sometimes it'll be known as the HMA. So guess what? If you're really struggling with direction, you see how it's red here going down, right? There's a red line. It went green for a little bit, went red. Get the purple candlestick, and all of a sudden we see some green stuff going on here, right? It's green. Good. There's your direction. That's it. That's how simple it is. That's your direction. Now, can sometimes the market trick you and go down? Yep, it sure can. But there is no such thing as guaranteed in the marketplace. Not going to happen. There is no guarantee it's going to shoot to the moon every time you're going to make a bunch of money. Nope, doesn't exist. If you can't accept the fact that the marketplace has risk and you're not going to get an absolute guarantee on timing and direction every time, then you shouldn't be a trader. I don't know. Go push a wheelbarrow somewhere. Okay, that was a little crude. Sorry. That was a little rude. My apologies. But you get my point, right? You got to have a little bit of moxie, man. You're going to have a little bit, you know what, downstairs, guys. You got to be a little tough. You got to accept the fact that the marketplace has risk. I'm not saying you should go around embracing losses, because risk management should be there to help you with that. Okay, but in this case, we're just keeping things basic, right? The whole moving average, which I call the R Scout here, okay, is giving you the color change. So guess what? Somewhere in this candlestick, this one right here, the whole moving average turned green, and there you go. You're off to the races. Now you know you've got the timing because of the GetisPlus indicator gave you this indication. It gave you the purple candlestick. The SMI says things are going up, and the whole moving average turned green. There's your direction, right? Direction. Boom. SMI, whole moving average work together. They're basically doing the same thing, but some people, maybe they just see things differently, right? Some people need an indicator like this going up. Some people like a color. Okay, that's your direction. All right, so this one's super easy. These are the kind of trades you should be looking for. Super easy. It's better if the SMI had been down here and came up. That's even stronger signal. But this was still good enough. All right. Let's take a look at, we're going to say this one for last. This one's a little more complicated. We're going to look at this one that just happened a little while ago. At the end of the day here. Let's look at this one. This is just the opposite. Instead of going up, this is going down. Okay, so we got GetisPlus indicator, again, is timing. Hope you're all getting something out of this. Here it is. Here's a timing, purple candlestick. Okay, it's saying it thinks there's going to be a trade now or soon. Okay, we can all agree the timing here is excellent. Of course, hindsight is 20/20. Remember, in real life, you're not going to see any of this over here. Right? Just put your hand over it even on this video. Just put your hand over the top of the rest of those candlestick bars, pause the video. What are you going to do? Let's just assume you don't know anything. What are you going to do? You need to challenge yourself. You have to challenge yourself. Okay? I know what I'm doing. I see this thing's elevated. It's way above the red line. Yeah? It's way above the red line. See this red line here? This thing is way up here. Okay, in this case, the whole moving average, also known as the R Scout, it starts to turn red here, right? The candlestick is red. The SMI is pointing down. Again, it's the same thing as before. What is happening exactly at this point? Right here. Put a dot there. If I look this way on the SMI, Is the SMI lines above this dot, right? Is back over here somewhere in this entire area. In this entire area back here. Is the SMI above this dot or below it? It's above it, right? So up here. It's not down here. It's above it. So you just look back. Is it above it? It's above it. It means it came down, right? This is working its way down. From this point, it worked its way down. And then you got, now since I've got the whole moving average on here, you can get some color coding going on for this line, okay? But guess what, guys? I don't really need this whole moving average. I just see half the candlestick starts turning red. I'm in, man. I'm taking the trade. I see SMIs going down. I am paying attention to the MACD as it starts to squish. That's a good sign. It means momentum's starting to get a little weak going this way. It's money. What about this one at the end of the day? Don't touch it. It's the end of the day. Okay? Just don't touch it. It's the end of the day. It's garbage. Okay? All right, so this one over here for timing and direction and all this stuff that we talked about, and this one and this and that and the color coding is excellent timing and direction. This whole moving average is also direction. That's a crappy looking D. Okay, D that for direction on the red line. D is supposed to be a D, not a B. Okay. This is D. That green line is D, direction. Okay. All right, now what about this one? This one's a little bit more challenging. Okay, it gives us an indication. It's a big purple candlestick, and we're right about, let's see, let me get this right. We're just right there, right here. Okay. Now this is kind of at the bottom, and not kind of, it is at the bottom. See how far down it is? Again, same thing. This, if I place a dot right here at the time this indicator came in on the SMI for direction, because we've already got timing, right? We've got timing. This came on the streaming chart. Purple candlestick came on the chart. The Discord server is going to give us an alert. So you can always see it on the alert channel, the S&P 500 alert channel. Okay, so even if you're not watching the streaming charts like we're talking about now, you can get the alert on the alert channel and the Discord where the membership services are, right? Okay, so we've got the timing, and now we're talking about direction here. This is at the bottom, right? It is back this way above this dot or below it? Well, clearly it's above it, right? This whole area is above it. It's working its way down that way. So more than likely, the SMI is going to start going this way. What did the price do? Well, it kind of chopped sideways, didn't it? I mean, it did get a big green candlestick, then it was a red, then it was kind of a funky looking, almost not quite doji, but kind of an indecision candlestick, then green, then two reds, and then some greens, and finally it made its way out of the hole and came up. It wasn't great. It was about a total of 6 or 7 points, but nevertheless, it did reverse and come up here for a little while. Okay, now would I take this trade? Probably not. As a matter of fact, I didn't take this trade. I actually took a trade over here. I got in a little too early. How about them apples? I got in too early. And I kind of had to wait through this. I could have got out here, but I didn't. I waited. There was a little bit of profit there, not much. I waited. And I knew it was going to come down. I knew the chances were very high it was going to come down. Why did I know that? Because I don't just look at only the 5-minute chart. I looked at the 15-minute and the 1 hour, and they were all sitting up there ready to come down. So I could, this is not exactly the best entry I made over here, and I need to be a little more patient. But even though I was impatient, I knew the odds were with me, and eventually it made good. Okay, so back to this trade. The reason I didn't take this trade, even though there was a little bit of profit here, is because at this exact moment, even though it looks like the S&P is going to go up, look at the MACD. It is saying bombs away. Look at that big fat MACD going that way. Momentum's going negative. I'm just not going to take that risk. I'm not. See, now hopefully everybody gets it now. We looked at two really good opportunities here and here. This one and this one were excellent. This one was a bit shaky. The GetisPlus Indicator said there's a trade there for timing. The direction was there, right? We had direction both here, and it turned green eventually over here. But it wasn't exactly ideal because the MACD is pointing down. This is more long-term indicator. It's kind of giving us the flow of long-term momentum, whereas this indicator, SMI, So this is directional too. The MACD, by the way, is directional. Okay. It is directional more or less. Okay, but it's going to be more slower moving. It's going to react slower. So when I saw this big old gap in here, I said, no, I'm not touching that. Plus, the other reason why I didn't touch this trade is because this green line is the 24-hour simple moving average. 24 SMA. And the market likes to come back to this line, whether it's coming from below or from above. It likes to come back to 24. Look at it down here. It touched it. Look over here. It tracked right along the 24 SMI, like for, I don't know, what was that? 2 hours. It just tracked along this line. I talk about this all the time. But a lot of people like to use the 20. That's garbage. The 24 SMA is the butter. It's the butter. All right. So once I had my trade, I made huge money in here. Huge money from way over here, farting around. Market finally came down. I made big money through all this. That's where I made my 1350 mostly. Some of it was last night, but most of it was here. Okay. And why would I risk $1,350? I already made my profit for the day. I was done. I got out. I didn't touch it. And I didn't like what I was seeing here with this going down, so I didn't get in. Okay? So you want to pick, when the GetisPlus Indicator gives you the timing, and you look at the SMI for direction, make sure you pay attention to the MACD as well for direction, and you need to be looking at the 15-minute and the 1-hour chart. Because they're going to help you. Right? On the 1-hour chart at this time, like over here somewhere, the 1-hour chart this time, what time is it? This was about between 9:30 and 10 o'clock. Let's go look at it. All right, I blew this one up. This is the 1-hour chart, and I blew it up kind of big so we can look at this very closely. So I said 9:30, 10 o'clock. That's about right here. Down here is 9, 10 o'clock. See it? So let's just put it right in the middle. This candlestick right here is probably the 9 o'clock hour. Yeah, this is the 10 o'clock hour. Right? We're right in here. So we're looking at these two candlesticks. What's the SMI doing? And it's elevated. It's like way up here. It's way at the top, way above this line. You get it? Look at this. It's way up here. And also, today is kind of an exception. It hit all-time highs up here. So I know things are very peaky. Right? Things are peaking out. All right, so I hope you understand the importance of, I didn't just look at the 5-minute chart. I looked at the 1-hour chart and the 15-minute chart. They both had elevated SMIs and other factors that made me believe it was a good time to go short, okay? Get it? On that one trade. Okay, let's finish this up. We'll go back to the Word document and finish up this video. All right, account size. We don't need to look at charts for this. If you have a small retail account, and how do you know, okay, assuming we're trading futures here. If you got a small account, well, how do we know what small is? Let me switch over to an Excel spreadsheet. Okay, this is an Excel spreadsheet with a bunch of different futures products. Here's the futures. Here's a bunch of symbols that I've traded one time or another throughout my career of trading. All right? I don't really look at this too much anymore because mostly nowadays I trade the ES. But look at all these products. The yield, there's corn here. This is corn XZ. You've got micro Aussie dollar, I think. You got the euro dollar. These are futures. This is the British pound. This is, I think, the Canadian. This is E-mini wheat. Okay, I think this is copper, if I remember right. This is Russell 2000 micro. I think that's silver. This is silver. This is the Dow Jones. Okay, micro Dow Jones, micro S&P 500, micro copper, regular big copper contracts, wheat. I think that's copper. I don't remember what this is. Can't remember. Doesn't matter. I think that's gold, or I don't know. This is probably gold. Whatever. I don't remember all of this. This is cattle. This is also cattle. This is gas, crude oil, I think. Obviously, that's S&P 500. That's what I trade mostly is this. This is micro gold. This is micro crude oil. I don't remember what that is. Obviously, that VXM is the VIX. And then this is the big contract for the euro dollar. Okay, this is all futures products. So that's all I trade. I almost exclusively trade futures nowadays. Okay, so let's look at this. The E-mini micro E-mini S&P 500. I haven't looked at the margin requirements on my broker lately, but last time I looked at it was $1,430. So that's the margin that's going to be leveraged against your account. You have to have at least this much to trade this one contract. Right now I have it set up as a short, but it could be a positive one. So you need to know, I have a spreadsheet here, right? You even see over here, I said E micro SP 500. I got some calculations over to the right. But this is pretty simple stuff. If I got one contract at $1,430 with a margin requirement, I know I got to have $1,430 in my account or more, most likely, to trade this one E micro. Follow me? So that's how you determine account size. You have to know what the margin requirements are for all these products. Now, this is not an updated list because it's kind of old. Okay, but I know that the SP 500 one is updated. Oh, I'm sorry, it's over here. 12. Maybe it's wrong. Let me look at it. There it is, 1478. This is the one I'm looking at. That's what I trade. Okay. There's some miscalculation here. I have to go figure out. I probably changed something here by mistake. Okay, but this is what I trade. So for every contract I trade, I have to have $14,784 to trade just one contract. You can see lately I've been trading two. So I have to have a minimum of nearly $30,000 in my account to trade E-minis. And to be honest with you, most brokers are going to make you have higher than this. And you can't just be on the bleeding edge. Okay, so small account, well, can you afford $1,430? If the answer is barely yes, then you can trade a micro. Maybe you got $5,000 in your account. Okay, you can probably trade 3 or 4 of these. Account size matters because you're going to need more movement in the market to make money on a micro. Okay, let's go to the right. Let's go to the right here. I got one contract. We're shorting a contract, right? Everybody see that? Let's go to the right. And up here's the starting price. I have to end this video soon, but it's okay. That's the starting price right here, $4,800. Doesn't really matter, so it's made up. If the market moves $5, right? I started at 4,800. It went down $5. I'm not $5, sorry, 5 points. I made $25. Right? This is 5 points. Just me doing calculations here. And futures have things called points and ticks. You should know all this. If you don't, you need to study it. So you can see that on the E micro, it requires quite a bit of movement just to make a little bit of money because it's such a small contract, small product. Right? Now watch if I go. Now I used to do this. I used to trade this product a lot before my account got bigger. I'm going to trade 3 of these now. Okay? I'm changing. Let me clear the screen. I'm changing this to 3 contracts. See it? Okay, let's go to the right. Okay. It's the same 5 points. I got in at 4,800. The market went down 5 points to 47.95. But now I made $75 because I got 3 contracts. Get it? Right. So, okay, now let's do the same thing on the E mini. 4,800 and 47.95. Let's go check it out. I'm trading 2 contracts right there. Okay, we're looking at this number right here. I'm trading negative short 2 on the E minis. Okay. And let's say it's 4,800 and it moves 5 points. I just made $500. Come on, this stupid thing. $500. Right there, $500 on just 2 contracts. Because the E-mini is a much bigger product, so smaller, only 5 points with movement makes me a lot more money than the E-micro. Okay, so that covers account size. You have to know the math. Then you see the spreadsheet in front of you. If you don't have a spreadsheet, get it together. Start doing the math. Okay, you need to get your you-know-what together. Okay, that's how you figure out what works and doesn't work. All right, you want to know where these products are? They're on the CME website. They have all these products. And whatever broker you have, you got to figure out what they're going to charge for. It's called, just count, this thing's giving me a hard time here. It is a margin required or initial, okay, it's this one, initial margin. This is normally called initial margin for one contract. Initial margin. Here I just call it margin, but it's initial margin. That's what it's going to be called. Initial, like, beginning. So you get a hold of your broker or look online My broker shows it on the software, the initial margin requirement to trade one of these, one contract. And then you just multiply by the number of contracts you're going to trade. And that's going to help you begin to figure out what you can and can't trade for what products. Okay. Account size matters. Some of the things that some of you all see me doing with me trading 2 E-minis, and I might make $200 on a quick scalp. If you have a small account, you're not going to be able to do that. For you, it might only be $10 or $20. And then, of course, you're fighting commissions. So for really small accounts, you got to be a little bit more accurate. You got to be careful, right? And pick and choose your trades carefully so that you're building your account, not just treading water. All right, that's it. Long video, but I wanted to cover that for everybody. Hope everybody got something out of that. All right, stick around in the video. I'll show you how to become a member. Okay, so you want to become a member? That's great. In the description below this YouTube video, there'll be some instructions. Make sure you read those instructions carefully. Once you do that, click on the Discord link. It's going to bring you over to the Get a Server. Then you click on Server Shop. You come here. $7.99. I'm not going to cover everything that comes with the membership because I do it in every video, but basically down here when you join, click on the streaming charts, you'll get the 3 streaming charts. There's a bunch of stuff that's available here. Okay, alerts, premium symbols, okay, a nightly email that goes out. I send out a nightly email. As long as you put your email address in there, you get a nightly email. All right. Okay, that's it for now. Happy trading, everybody. God bless everybody. We'll talk to you all real soon again next time.